today's bonus lesson, we are going to learn how to make these elements, which I called decorative grains, or they also resemble a wheat ear, kind of consisting of similar elements. Mine are done a bit looser than in a real wheat ear, where the grains are very compact, but it's up to you. You can change it to fit your vision, and also do different combination of these grain elements in a stem. So this is just one of the options. My task is to show you how to make the elements and how to put them together, and then you can combine them however you see fit for your design. So let's see what we will need for making these decorative grain stem. You'll need some fabric. Today I'm using some just lightweight rayon fabric to cover my grains with. You can use lightweight cotton or lightweight denim. I do recommend using the lightest possible fabric out of your stash, so you can cover the wires nicely, because the chunky fabric will not allow you to do it. So try to choose something really lightweight. Lightweight cotton voile or even or lightweight silk would also do a good job. You will need a couple of different gauge of wires. So one thin wire, this is 28 for making the grains, and some thicker wire for the stems to put them together into a bigger branch for the arrangement. So this is 22 I have, so a couple of each ones at least. You also need some cotton wool to make the actual little grains on the stems. And if you want to finish your branches with some denim, you can use some denim fabric as well, as I have shown here. So let's see how to make the little grains. First of all, cut your thinner wire. In my case it's 28. You can use maybe 26. Try not to use something too thick. So I'll split this one into 3, about 12 centimeters long. This is quite a good size, 10, maybe 12. And depending on how many elements you're making, you will need the same amount of wires to prepare. So at about 2/3 probably from the top, we're going to add some cotton wool in a kind of elongated shape for imitating the grains. 2/3 or maybe 4/5 even. So quite towards the bottom, leaving about a couple of centimeters here for including each individual element into the stem. So what I need to do is I need to use a bit of glue, put some glue here on the wire so that I could add my cotton wool. Use really thin strands, because you don't want too much here. Less is more, and very carefully build. It's probably about 1.5 centimeters long, maybe 2 maximum, and then the center of your grain is a bit plumper than the edges. So try to put less cotton wool on the edges and a bit more in the center of the element. If you think you need to add a little bit more, do that again, just the tiny amounts, and roll quite tightly so this element is a tight one. I'm going to show once again for you to see it. They will naturally be slightly different size, but try to keep kind of to more or less, close enough size for them, so they're not varying too much. There will be some variation, of course, but not drastic would be good. So once you've done the overall length, then concentrate your cotton wool onto the central part of these elements. You can add a bit more glue from time to time if you think you need it. And here's another one. So they're kind of close, not identical of course, but close enough. So these ones now will need to be covered with fabric. I'm only showing a couple here, but you get the idea. So I'm cutting off a strip of fabric from the fabric of my choice, which is let's say about 1.5 to 2 centimeters wide, just all along the length of it. All the fabrics are stiffened, so don't forget to do that before using them. I'm folding about 1/3 of my fabric in so that I don't have the frayed edge. The frayed edge is now hidden inside. And I need a bit of glue at this tip. If you're working with white fabrics, I would recommend wiping or washing your hands regularly, because otherwise you might get some dirt onto the fabric and it will be noticeable. So I'm placing the tip, the top part of my grain onto this fabric, and now I need to roll tightly and keep it neat around the wire to cover my wire, and soon the cotton wool that I've added with this fabric. Try to keep it tight, keep your fabric tight and wrap tightly so that it still looks very slim and not bulky. So now I need to cover my cotton wool shape. Make sure that you're covering it all nicely and no cotton wool is seen, especially if you're using a dark colored fabric. That will be a bigger change in color, so your cotton wool will be noticeable more. I'm using all white, so it's not that seen, but I'm making sure I'm covering all my cotton wool anyway. So this is one. I'm going to show one more for you to see how to do it again, and then we can continue making as many as we need for our arrangement until we have enough to put them together onto an ear. So keep it all tight and slim as much as possible. This is a good exercise in practicing your silk wrapping skills for stems. You see, if your fabric is fine enough, it will wrap the cotton wool shape nicely without many pleats. If you choose a bulky fabric, you will have issues here, because the bulky fabric is not going to hug the cotton wool shape as easily. No need to go down too much here, because it will create bulk when you're adding the elements together. In this way you can go ahead and create as many elements as you need. I'm going to be adding them in pairs, so if you want you can make 6, 8, 10, and then we'll be adding them to the thicker wire like this to make an ear. So I have several elements, several grains prepared here. If you have variation in sizes here, you can use to your advantage and, for example, pick thinner ones, skinnier ones to be used towards the top of the ear, moving on to slightly bigger elements. So I'm gonna pick 8 here, if I may, more or less in the same size. So here are 8 ones, and I'm going to add them onto wire number 22. So I will need to cut off another strip to put them together. Right, so here is the strip of fabric to put the elements together onto a thicker wire. You can join the first two elements, add a little bit of glue at the base here, place the wire. Sometimes I use a little bit of paper just to kind of start the process. Paper is very thin and does not add any unnecessary volume. So these two joined, and then I can come up with my fabric strip and start wrapping just as we've done before, down the wire a couple of centimeters down until we are ready to add the next two elements, probably about here. So then the next pair comes in, similar to how we've done the leaves before. Again, wrapping all the stems together. You can play with the elements later to adjust them. One more pair goes on. Looks better here. See if you have more matching pairs, then maybe use those. Although potentially it's not going to be noticeable in the finished piece. Right, so these two can be added just like the previous ones, and you can see it's already an idea of an ear, wheat ear appearing, and then in this way we keep adding. You can stop at 6, you can add 2 more, you can add 4 more, go on as much as you think you want with these grains. So this ear, it has 8 elements. I'm going to create another smaller one, and then we can put them together into one bigger branch. If you want, you can leave each ear individually or put them into even bigger branches with several ears in it. This is all up to you. It depends on how you want to see them in your arrangement, or perhaps use these elements somewhere else as well. Obviously they can be made more realistic if you use let's say green or beige fabric, and you can make them more compact, smaller, to resemble the real wheat ear more. Once you have created 2 ears like this, they can have, obviously, as I mentioned, different number of elements. I have 8 and 6 here. You can put them together, you can leave them separately if you want. I'm going to join these 2 together, and also you can join even 3 together perhaps, depending on how you want them to be in your arrangement. So I think at this point it would probably be good to add 1 more wire to strengthen the stem of this decorative ear. So I'm adding 1 more, and the short one as well, and just wrap the stem the 3 stems together like these, 3 wires, and you can also cover them with another fabric. Can be a light denim or a light colored denim, for example. I might do that, or it can be just left as is if you are happy with this. So this white fabric wrapping doesn't look too bad. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to add a couple more wires here to make the stem a bit longer for the arrangement, so I have enough height for it. So I have finished the stem with some light colored denim, and this is my decorative grains, also known as ear wheat or stylized ear wheat, ready. You can make several of these for your bouquet, a different number of grains in each, and I think they will add some airiness and lightness to the other flowers that we have already made.